Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of mobile gaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds good.
Exploring its incredible rise and dissecting the often controversial mechanics that fuel it. We've got some really fascinating research and articles ready to unpack here. We often take for granted that we can just pull out our phones
Right.
and jump into these elaborate, visually stunning games anywhere, anytime. But how did we get here and at what cost?
Yeah.
So let's rewind for a second. Think back to the early days of mobile gaming. Who remembers playing Snake on those old indestructible Nokia phones?
Snake, a true classic.
Right.
Yeah, those early games were quite limited,
Yeah.
weren't they? Simple, standalone games, very constrained by the technology at the time.
Definitely. Basic graphics, no internet connection needed.
Yep.
Back then, who could have imagined the mobile gaming scene exploding into this multi-billion-dollar industry,
Right.
surpassing even PC and console games in revenue?
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's wild.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
The landscape shifted dramatically with the introduction of the iPhone and its app store. It was like opening Pandora's box for game developers.
Totally.
Suddenly, anyone with a creative vision could design and publish games, reaching a global audience.
And I remember that early App Store frenzy.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was downloading games like Angry Birds and Doodle Jump.
Oh, yeah.
Those games were so addictive, and they were mostly affordable, paid up front.
Right.
But then came this pivotal shift, didn't there?
Yeah. The rise of the freemium model, as it came to be known, changed everything.
Yeah.
Games like Clash of Clans and Candy Crush Saga really demonstrated the power of giving the game away for free and then monetizing it through in-app purchases, microtransactions.
Right, and microtransactions come in so many flavors.
They do.
There are cosmetic items like skins and outfits, those things that personalize your character.
Yeah,
Then there are time savers and boosts that speed up progress.
of course.
All sorts of in-game currencies. And, of course, the dreaded energy systems that make you wait or pay to keep playing.
Yep, those energy systems always getting you.
Always.
It's fascinating how these microtransactions are carefully designed to really tap into our psychology.
Yeah.
Take loot boxes, for example.
Oh, yeah.
That element of chance, you don't know what you're going to get,
You don't know.
creates a powerful sense of anticipation and excitement.
It's like a digital slot machine, right?
It is, very much so.
And then there are the limited time offers.
Oh, yeah.
Creating that fear of missing out.
Gotta get it now.
Got to get it now before it's gone. It's all incredibly clever from a business perspective, but it does raise some questions.
It does, yeah. Some of these practices, especially loot boxes, have sparked a lot of debate
For sure.
about their ethical implications.
Yeah.
Especially when children are involved.
Right.
Belgium even went so far as to ban loot boxes in certain games
Wow.
because they were deemed too close to gambling.
It's a slippery slope for sure.
It is.
These games are designed to keep players engaged, but when does that engagement
Right.
cross the line into something more problematic? Even addictive. We've seen reports of people, both adult and kids, spending thousands of dollars on these games.
There's research that suggests
Yeah.
that a small percentage of mobile gamers, something like 5%,
Really?
actually generate a huge chunk of the revenue.
Wow.
So this raises important questions
Yeah.
about the potential for exploitation and the need for greater transparency around these mechanics.
5% is a tiny fraction,
It is.
but they're clearly spending significant amounts of money.
They are.
It makes you wonder what motivates those players.
Right.
What keeps them spending?
Yeah.
What safeguards should be in place to protect them?
Absolutely. Understanding the psychology behind these spending habits is crucial.
Totally.
Is it the thrill of the chase, the desire for status and recognition within the game, or something else entirely?
And beyond the individual players, what about the broader implications of this free-to-play model for the gaming industry as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly a revenue-generating powerhouse,
It is.
but is it sustainable?
That's a really complex question with no easy answers.
Right.
The free-to-play model has undeniably democratized gaming,
I mean, yeah.
making it accessible to a global audience.
Yeah.
However, the reliance on microtransactions has led to these concerns
Right.
about pay-to-win dynamics and the potential for predatory practices.
So we have this tension, right?
Yeah.
Between accessibility
Mm-hmm.
and these ethical concerns.
Exactly.
It seems like the future of mobile gaming hinges on finding a balance between these competing forces.
It really does. The industry needs to address these concerns
Yeah.
and explore alternative monetization strategies that are both profitable and ethical.
Okay.
For example, subscription-based models like Apple Arcade, which offer a curated selection of games without microtransactions, are gaining traction.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's an interesting development. Maybe we're starting to see a shift towards a more balanced approach,
possibly.
where players have more control and transparency.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back and look at the global landscape of mobile gaming.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
Mobile gaming truly is a global phenomenon. It's fascinating to see how different regions have embraced it in their own unique ways.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
It is. We were talking about the tension between accessibility and ethical concerns a moment ago. But even setting that aside, what are some of the key regional differences we're seeing in the mobile gaming world?
Well, Asia is undoubtedly a dominant force,
So,
with countries like China, Japan, and South Korea leading the charge in terms of revenue and player base.
wow.
Games like Honor of Kings in China have achieved incredible success,
I've heard of that one.
generating billions of dollars annually.
That's wild. Are there any specific factors that are really driving that growth in those markets?
Well, for one, mobile gaming is often seen as a more accessible form of entertainment than PC or console gaming in those regions.
Makes sense.
Smartphones are ubiquitous, internet infrastructure is robust,
Right.
and there's a strong cultural emphasis on mobile technology.
So it's almost like mobile gaming has become ingrained in the culture there
Yeah.
in a way that we haven't quite seen in other parts of the world.
Precisely. It's become a central part of their social lives, with people connecting and competing through these games.
So interesting. What about other regions? Are there any up-and-coming markets that are worth keeping an eye on?
India is a fascinating example.
Okay.
It's become one of the fastest growing mobile gaming markets in the world,
Wow.
fueled by the increasing affordability of smartphones and data plans.
Really?
Yeah, incredibly cheap data plans.
Wow.
So it's created this perfect storm for mobile gaming to flourish.
That's amazing how technology can level the playing field in that way,
Yeah.
making entertainment accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah,
It's a reminder that the mobile gaming landscape is constantly shifting and evolving.
absolutely. And speaking of evolution, let's look at some of the emerging trends that are shaping the future of mobile gaming.
Okay.
Cloud gaming, for instance, has the potential to be a real game changer.
Cloud gaming, it feels like we hear about it more and more these days.
We do.
But for those who might not be familiar,
Yeah.
can you explain how it works and why it's such a big deal for mobile gaming?
Sure. Essentially, cloud gaming allows you to stream games over the internet,
Okay.
much like you stream movies or music.
Okay.
Instead of running the game directly on your device, the processing is done on powerful servers elsewhere,
Hmm.
and the video output is streamed to your phone or tablet.
So it's like having a high-end gaming PC in the cloud,
Exactly.
accessible from your phone.
Yeah, it means you can play graphically demanding games that would normally be impossible to run on a mobile device.
That's awesome.
Services like Xbox Cloud Gaming and Google Stadia are already making this a reality.
Yeah, I've heard of Stadia.
And it's only going to become more prevalent in the years to come.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Are there any challenges or limitations to cloud gaming that we should be aware of?
Well, a stable and fast internet connection is crucial
Okay.
for a smooth gameplay experience.
Right.
Lag or interruptions can be a major frustration.
Yeah, for sure.
It also raises questions about accessibility for people in areas with limited internet infrastructure.
That's a good point. It seems like widespread adoption of cloud gaming will depend heavily on advancements in internet technology and infrastructure,
It really does.
but the potential is undeniable.
Yeah.
Cloud gaming could blur the lines between mobile, console, and PC gaming,
It could.
creating a more unified and accessible gaming ecosystem.
For sure.
That's exciting. But we've already talked about the ethical concerns surrounding microtransactions in the free-to-play model.
Yeah.
Do these same concerns apply to cloud gaming?
That's a great question, and I think it really depends on how these cloud gaming services are structured and monetized. Some services might adopt subscription-based models, while others might still incorporate microtransactions.
So it's not necessarily a silver bullet solution to these ethical dilemmas we've been discussing.
Right.
It could introduce new challenges of its own.
Exactly. The industry needs to approach cloud gaming thoughtfully
Right.
and ensure that it doesn't simply replicate the same problems we've seen with the free-to-play model.
Speaking of the free-to-play model, are there any other alternative monetization strategies that might gain traction in the future?
There are a few interesting models being explored.
Like what?
Well, some developers are experimenting with premium one-time purchase models for mobile games,
Oh,
similar to traditional console games.
interesting.
This approach offers players a complete and ad-free experience without the pressure of microtransactions.
It's a refreshing approach, going back to the basics.
It is.
But does it have the potential to be as profitable as the free-to-play model?
It's hard to say for sure. It might appeal to a specific segment of players who value a premium, uninterrupted gaming experience.
Right.
But it remains to be seen whether it can achieve the same level of widespread success as the free-to-play model, which has really become the industry standard.
Yeah, it's tough to compete with free.
It is.
It's fascinating to see this experimentation and innovation happening in the monetization space.
Yeah.
It suggests that the industry is actively searching for solutions that benefit both players and developers.
I think so.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the social impact of mobile gaming.
Okay.
You know, mobile gaming has fostered a sense of community and connection, unlike anything we've seen before in the gaming world.
It really has.
Yeah, it's really quite something. We often talk about the potential downsides of mobile gaming, like addiction and overspending. But there's a whole other side to the coin that I think is worth exploring, which is the educational potential.
Absolutely. You know, it's easy to overlook the fact that mobile games can be incredible tools for learning.
Yeah.
There's a whole genre of games out there that are specifically designed to teach players about history, science, math, you name it. And they do it in a way that's engaging and fun.
Yeah.
So learning feels more like play.
It's like sneaking in a little education under the guise of entertainment.
Exactly.
I've seen some incredibly creative mobile games that teach you about coding, music theory, even critical thinking skills.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how game mechanics can be used to reinforce learning. Think about puzzle games that
Okay.
require problem solving or strategy games that teach you about resource management.
Yeah.
These skills can be transferred to real-world situations.
It makes you wonder if we're underutilizing the power of games in our traditional education systems.
That's an interesting thought.
Like, imagine a classroom where learning feels more like playing a game.
There's definitely a growing movement towards gamification in education.
Okay.
It's about incorporating game-like elements into traditional learning environments to make them more engaging and interactive.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, games are inherently motivating.
They are.
They provide challenges, rewards, a sense of progression,
Right?
all of which can be incredibly powerful motivators for learning.
For sure. And mobile games, with their accessibility and portability, have the potential to reach a wider audience
Right.
than traditional educational tools.
Yeah.
They can make learning more accessible to people of all ages and backgrounds.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities.
It is.
But let's not forget about the sheer entertainment value of mobile games.
Oh, of course not.
You know, we've talked about a lot of serious topics today, but at the end of the day, these games are meant to be fun.
Exactly. Mobile gaming offers such a diverse range of experiences,
Right.
from those casual puzzle games to these immersive role-playing adventures.
Yeah,
There's something for everyone.
truly.
And it's all right there at your fingertips.
What are some of the mobile games that have really impressed you lately, purely from an entertainment standpoint?
Well, I've been really enjoying Alto's Odyssey. It's a simple but beautifully designed endless runner game where you snowboard down these stunning desert landscapes.
I've heard of that one.
It's incredibly relaxing and meditative.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect example of how a mobile game can be both visually stunning and incredibly engaging,
Yeah,
even with a relatively simple gameplay loop.
exactly. And there are so many other gems out there just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
Monument Valley is a classic puzzle game that plays with perspective and optical illusions in a truly mesmerizing way.
Okay.
And if you're looking for a more narrative-driven experience, Florence is a beautifully crafted, interactive story about love and loss. That will stay with you long after you finish playing.
It's amazing how much creativity and innovation we're seeing in the mobile gaming space.
It really is.
You know, it's a testament to the passion and dedication of the developers who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible on these devices.
Absolutely. And it's an industry that's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
We're seeing new genres emerge, new technologies being adopted, and new ways of thinking about monetization.
Right.
It's an exciting time to be a mobile gamer.
It really is. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the humble beginnings of Snake to the rise of these billion-dollar behemoths and the emergence of cloud gaming.
We have.
We've explored the psychology of microtransactions, the ethical challenges, and the incredible potential of mobile games to connect people, entertain them, and even educate them.
It's been a fascinating deep dive into a complex and ever-changing landscape.
It really has.
And I think the key takeaway here is that mobile gaming is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
It's a global phenomenon that's shaping the future of entertainment, and it's only going to continue to grow and evolve in the years to come.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to encourage you to continue exploring this world.
Yes.
There's a universe of incredible experiences waiting to be discovered right there in the palm of your hand.
So dive in, explore, experiment, and most importantly, have fun. Who knows what hidden gems you might uncover?
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of mobile gaming.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, happy gaming.